In the headlines, traffic halted on Wednesday as Bailey Bridge at Compton Point was undermined by heavy rain. Hands Across the Sea invests in literacy in 24 of Dominica's schools. And hospitality training priority as Dominica prepares for five-star hotels. I'm Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details after this.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, heavy rain seriously compromised the Bailey Bridge at Compton Point on Wednesday, cutting off traffic flow and forcing passengers to cross the area on foot. The West Coast or Iolibla Highway project is under the supervision of the Chinese. The Chinese teams were busy on site trying to create a temporary crossing. That Bailey Bridge had been put in place post Tropical Storm Erica. In other top stories, Prime Minister Skerritt optimistic that thousands of Dominicans will be employed when hotel plants in the north begin operations. In his Independence Day address, Mr. Skerritt said Jungle Bay Resort opens around the middle of next year with the Kempinski, Marriott and other international brands to follow. The Prime Minister outlined what he plans to do to ensure there is a ready workforce ahead of time for the hospitality industry.
But I believe the time has come for Dominica to fast-track the establishment of a modern hospitality training institute, whereby not only unemployed and underemployed persons can go for training, but also where existing government and private sector employees desirous of pursuing a new career or a second career can also access high-quality training in the various disciplines of the hospitality sector. I will very shortly be taking before the Cabinet of Ministers a paper which would provide for leave of absence to be granted to existing government employees desirous of pursuing training in hospitality services, whether it be hotel management, food and beverage, housekeeping, landscaping, engineering, or administration.
On to matters of education, a literacy boost for 24 of Dominica's schools as they receive another gift from Hands Across the Sea.
The donation was made on Wednesday at the Newtown Primary School. Over 2,000 children are expected to benefit from the donation of more than 12,000 new books through the efforts of Hands Across the Sea.
Hands Across the Sea has been doing tremendous work with the Ministry of Education since 2007, so it's about 11 years now since they have been involved in supporting the education system. And subsequent to the passage of Hurricane Maria about a year and a bit ago, we have as a ministry been receiving quite a bit of supplies from various corporate entities, locally, regionally and internationally. And this is just one more example of the gratitude, the generous assistance that is provided to our education system, and the fact that as a system we are to be grateful for receiving the materials for our schools.
Giselle Leroy is Dominica's literacy link for Hands Across the Sea. The organization was started by Harriet and Tim Linsky back in 2007.
They made it their mission to raise the child literacy levels in especially the Eastern Caribbean, 6 islands to be exact, by sourcing brand new, up-to-date books. So they don't believe in donation dumps, which is basically out-of-date books. They work with publishers like Scholastic and DK Publishing and Macmillan Caribbean to source brand new books for the students to read, so that they are more excited in to pick up a book and to follow.
The reading material will be distributed among 7 secondary and 17 primary schools. 4 of the 7 secondary schools will receive remedial reading toolkits.
Meantime, the Pearchild Secondary School has copped the Literacy Award for 2018. This is another initiative spearheaded by Hands Across the Sea. The program encourages schools to get more children involved in reading at their respective class level. Third former and student librarian at the Pearchild Secondary School says they were able to see an increased number of male students using reading material at the school's library.
For a period of years now, this organization has taken us under its wings, providing us with reading materials, books, posters, and even CDs, all geared at improving the literacy level of our students. I have seen the library culture change from predominantly girl borrowers like myself to an influx of boys, though they are now first formers. I hope that this library culture will continue as the boys grow up and move to higher forms. And when this happens, we know that you, Hands Across the Sea, had a great part to play in this revolution. For this future venture and our current status, I thank you again.
As part of the award, the PCSS got $1,000 worth of books, other reading material, and a remedial reading toolkit. An international scuba diving organization has returned to Dominica after a 2-year hiatus to help with both on-land and underwater restoration post-Hurricane Maria.
The Worldwide Christian Scuba Divers Organization is a non-profit organization which carries out mission work in the countries where members visit for dive trips. The organization works on a fully voluntary basis and all its donations go towards its mission projects. The WCSDO, founded in 2009 by Jim Musto, is partnering with the Deliverance Baptist Church to carry out its various projects in the country.
Actually today we're going to be painting a house that I believe is one of the members of the Deliverance Baptist Church that needed some painting, so we're going to be doing that. We were here on Monday helping to do some cleanup work around the church and take a lot of the boards and things like that out. We're extremely excited that I had talked to Pastor Dave about a month ago, and they were raising money to replace their pews in the church which were damaged by the hurricane. And our group got together and we decided to work with them and say we'll partner with them in matching whatever they could raise, and they were able to raise half the money, so we were happy to be able to give the other half, and now this church is going to have 100 new chairs that they can worship in.
The 10-member contingent also plans on carrying out missionary work along with its multiple projects.
Actually, on Friday night, we're going to be showing the Jesus film at the Stock Farm playing field, the football field, and so we're looking forward to that. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. We're going to have hot dogs, soft drinks, cookies for the kids, and then after that, show the movie. It's the largest viewed movie in the history of the world, seen billions of times. So I would really hope that anybody who has an opportunity to come, please come.
The WCSDO also brought for distribution clothes, reading glasses, medical supplies, and Bibles. Musto says the group hopes to return to Dominica at its earliest convenience to continue lending assistance to those in need.
Coming up on the Channel 5 News, more coverage of Community Day Service projects. Stay tuned.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Hello viewers and welcome to the Channel 5 News for today, National Day of Community Service. This year, the day is being observed on 5th November because 4th November was a Sunday. This year is Reunion Year. We are celebrating 40 years of independence under the theme, My Love, My Home, My Dominica, Building a Resilient Nation. And according to Local Government Commissioner, Mr. Glenroy Tuse, this year the focus is on building climate-resilient projects in the various communities. He told us that 69 projects have been approved to the tune of $250,000. And these projects will be centered on aspects such as drain works, also improving road access to communities and enhancing structures used as emergency shelters. Now this team of Andrea Louis and camera operator Ishmael Lewis will bring you scenes of projects in the southeast and the east of Dominica. So our first stop takes us to La Roche in Dalis. I have with me the clerk of the Dalis Village Council, Ms. Pauline Senville. Good morning and welcome to the Channel 5 News.
Good morning and welcome to Dalis. Dalis is also delightful in French, and so we want to welcome you to the most delightful community in Dominica.
Thank you very much. Now, it's National Day of Community Service, and you have a project happening here in Upper La Roche. Tell us, what exactly is going on here?
Okay, well, we have been having complaints with the situation of the road, the residents of the Upper La Roche area, and so the council felt like it was one of the most critical things to address for National Day of Community Service. As you know, that's a day where persons are willing to, give their day towards community and maintenance and so on. And so we felt like, although we had carried for 2 drainage projects, the council determined that we have been doing cement works over the past Saturdays. That's something that since the hurricane, the council have been undertaken, and so we have addressed the road concerns with cement, and we have also built a home, a new home for underprivileged in our community, and that's the council taking on the project on its own, and of course was spearheaded by our Minister of Public Works, we call him, and his name is Mr. Leroy Williams. He's also a contractor and he's also a member of the council. So we have been doing a lot with cement works, and so we decided today that we would address the drainage concerns of the Upper La Roche residents, because they have been complaining and the water is posing, as you can see, it's a steep hill, and so when the drains are blocked, then the water poses a lot of problems for the residents in that area. So I think the people are excited about the project and the fact that the council have, listened to them and answered the call. And so that's what we are doing today.
How many people live in the Upper La Roche area?
We would say about 80 to 100 persons in that area. It's one of the areas that's more heavily populated in the community.
And so far, what do you think of the turnout of people here to help with the beautification of the area?
Well, we're off to a late start, I would say, today, but usually community of service, that's how it is. People kind of want to get their breakfast going and so on before they kind of turn out. So we're expecting that we will have a lot of people here, and we have made provisions to cook a lot of food so that we can feed the people. They have given us their commitment that they will turn out today, so we're expecting a lot of people.
Pauline, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Thank you, darling.
Our next stop in the community of Dalis takes us to Upper Dalis, and we've met the Deputy Chairperson of the Village Council, Mrs. Joan Geese. So good morning and welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great.
Okay. Now, the second project I've come across is in Upper Dalis. Tell us, what's happening in this area today?
Yes, this section of Dalis is known as Poway, and some of us call it High Drain. And this is the lady who started the community health service this morning. I met her with her cutlass, I met her with, I provided some garbage bags, and she was the one taking out all the litter around the road. And then we have these guys there start with the swipers. Some have their shovels, some have their rakes, their cutlasses. So we're trying to clear a piece of road, a feeder. This is a feeder road. It is also where people live. So it's a feeder road where people grow their farming, do farming along the area. So it's a very important piece of road.
So this is more a beautification project?
That's right. It's a beautification project. And then you have this road leads to the main road, the public road. So it was supposed to, before Maria, it was supposed to be there was supposed to be a project by the PALREP. But thanks to Maria, we prioritize what is going to happen after Maria, so it's laid back a little. So hopefully we'll get the rest of the road well paved and to reach the public road.
You mentioned this is a feeder road and people have their farms up here. Roughly how many people in the area do farming higher up in this area?
Okay, I would say about 10, between 10 to 12 people. Okay. Yeah, and there are also families are living.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have families, they have houses.
Now, I know it's still early in the day, but so far, what do you think of the turnout on this project?
The turnout so far is, well, we have quite a people living here, but those who up to doing that work will show up. Those who negative will not show up and will start this side. But we can see some as positive group, and they started and they want to finish their project today. Yeah.
Joan, thank you very much for your time and happy independence.
Yeah, same to you, my dear. It's good to meet you. Thank you.
And we have met up with the Member of Parliament for the Lapland constituency, General Peter Seja. So good morning to you. Happy Community Day of Service. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Andrea, and trust me, I'm doing very fine. I'm in high spirits this morning. I've been up real early. Came from Lapland and in Boudica right now on my way to Delis. And as you can see this year, there appears to be involvement, serious involvement in the Community Day of Service activities. The people at Lapland, the folks at Lapland have organized a number of teams. We have a major works happening in the Willis Junction area where they're actually doing concrete works, restoration of the drains in that area, since it's the main block in Lapland. In addition to that, we also have a team at Casgori that is on entering Lapland, where they are restoring its restoration works to the drain crossing. The slabs have deteriorated over time and the community have come together. I must say that this project, though, is exceptional in that they did not wait on the Community Development Ministry to provide them with materials. The community came together. Somebody donated sand, another stone, and one steel. All we have done is to provide them with some cement, and they are getting the works done. Here in Boudica, you see right behind me, these are the folks from the Baptist Church who have organized the cleaning of the area, so they are focusing on beautification and cleanup. And also in the lower section of Boudica, there is some concrete works that is taking place. It is a road leading to about 5 families' homes that they are seeking to address and establish a motorable road. Well, of course, the entire roadway will not be done, but it will be the commencement of the project.
Okay. Now, you are the Member of Parliament for a large section of Dominica in the southeast that was badly battered by Hurricane Maria. Based on your driving around today, what are your thoughts on the scope or the range of projects happening in your constituency?
The reality is, as parliamentary representatives, we always think that more can be done. And my view is, while we have 2 or 3 projects in Delis, we've got 3 in Lapland and 2 here in Boudica. My view is many, many more projects could have been done. But albeit, I think it's the beginning of beginnings for us, a new beginning. And as we seek to build resilience here in Dominica, I think every little project counts. For example, I went into Laron and there is a small group headed by one of the village councillors, and they are actually pulling all of the old Domlec lines and cable and wireless lines or flow lines, and they are disposing of them. So I think this is aiding in ensuring that we have a cleaner, greener, healthier community, and to a very large extent that the drains are not clogged, thereby ensuring the resilience that we speak about, that every man on the street understands that the little bit that he does contributes to developing Dominica into a resilient country.
Mr. Senator, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
The pleasure is mine, and I trust that you enjoy your visit in the Southeast.
Still in the community of Boudica, we've come across yet another project, and I have with me the chairperson for the Boudica Village Council, Mr. Jones de Stenville. Good morning and welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you?
Yes, good morning, and good morning to all the viewers. I am fine, and I'm good.
Okay, that's great. Now, as I mentioned, another project in Boudica. Tell us, what exactly is happening in this section of the community?
Well, actually, we are setting up some road to go to Mr. Maurice Haley's house. Also expecting in the future that we could merge it with the Madam Link Road. Okay. So that would facilitate everybody with land and who are willing to build houses in Botica on that section of it.
Why did you choose this particular project for the day of service, or why is the gentleman important enough to the community to have done this project?
Well, actually, he have done a lot for Dominica and the village as a whole. He is actually an ex-fireman, and now he is handicapped, he cannot move. So sometimes if sickness, as God forbid, but if sickness comes, the ambulance will get easy access to his house.
How much progress do you see yourselves making on the road today?
Well, actually we got about close to 100 feet set up, and we're still looking. If we have enough time, we will still extend that. And we have about 15 to 20 people now, but in the next hour we expect it to go up to about 30. Yes.
So could you tell me what length of road will be needed to join it with the Madam Road higher up?
Well, we're looking about 500 feet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. And do you plan to continue on this project after community day of service?
Oh yes, yes we are. That's one of the projects we're looking to undertake as time goes by in our term of council.
And in terms of material, how are things?
Well, actually, the community development gave us 100 bags of cement and 24 cubic yards of tarish, and we're looking to get the funds from the council in order to continue and ask our PAL rep to actually assist us in that.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Senville. All the best on the project and happy independence.
Okay then, thank you and same to you.
And we've made it to the community of La Plaine. I've met up with the chairman of the La Plaine Village Council, Mr. Jones James. We're in the central La Plaine area. Mr. Jones James, good morning and welcome to the Channel 5 News.
Thank you and good morning. Welcome to La Plaine.
Thank you very much. Now, today's community day of service, tell us what's happening in this section of La Plaine for community day of service.
Well, in La Plaine on the whole, we have 3 planned projects by the Village Council of La Plaine. We have something being done in La Ronde, we have something being done in Casgorry, and we also have something being done in La Plaine Central, as you can see. And all these projects are very important to the village because most of the area where you have a lot of villagers going to and fro, you have entertainment spots on either side, you have shops on either side, so it's a widely used area in La Plaine.
So what exactly is happening here in central La Plaine?
In central La Plaine, we are fixing the drains up to probably 200 feet or more drain that is in need of repairs really. So we are going to put it into concrete. Most of it was in dirt as you could see, and then we're going to try to put it in concrete really.
Now you mentioned you're fixing the drain in this area, but before today, what was the situation like when it rained with the drains in the current status?
That's right. We used to have a lot of blockages and a lot of erosion coming from the slope area and stuff like that. So it was like impeding the water movement along the drain side, along the roadside, sorry.
And why did you select this particular section of La Plaine? Why is it so important to the people here?
Because it is the central of La Plaine. In the central of La Plaine, lots of things happening there. You have music on either side of the road, you have all the shopping malls, you have the bus stop. It's a widely used area in the whole of the village. And from outsiders as well come and enjoy the village. They come to that area really.
And speak to me in terms of the numbers that are on the project so far. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they're in great numbers, I must say. And thanks to them because it's really for them. We do it for ourselves first, and then because people enjoy what we have for ourselves.
How much progress do you see yourselves making on this project today?
Well, I am saying we will complete this project as far as I'm concerned, because the amount of people that are on the project, it's obvious that we're going to finish this project today.
And all the material is in place for this project?
All the material is in place. Like I told you, it's a planned project. If you have a planned project, then you will accomplish things, you understand? So we expect to complete the arrangement on the field.
Mr. James, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Thank you, welcome.
And we're still in the community of La Plaine. I've met up with one of the community leaders, Mrs. Vanya Aylwa. Hello and welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for joining us this morning.
No problem. Now we are in Casgorry, La Plaine. Tell us, what exactly is happening in this area for our community day of service?
Okay, right now we are repairing 2 slabs that got broken at the entrance of the community. over the past few months after Maria, we have had a lot of heavy vehicles going up and down because a lot of construction and other things happening. So 2 of them got broken, and then we have to be able to maneuver and do everything else. So what we did, we mobilized the people. The only material I must mention we got from government is the cement. Community people donated from their cement, from their gravels, the sand and steel, and we only got the cement from the local government. So today that's what we are doing, repairing the broken slabs.
Now, while the slabs were broken, how tricky or difficult was it for traffic to come up this area?
We had to mark it, we had to put some markings so that vehicles don't get damaged, and they'd have to go to the extreme right. And sometimes you have to stop for others to come in. But when it is completed, the whole area will be more accessible to transports.
You seem to have a lot of people helping on your project today.
Oh yes, we always have. Kasgori is notorious or famous, I should say famous. Kasgori is famous for community service. We have always had a tradition. Started long ago. My mother's name was synonymous with community service, and then I am continuing her legacy. We mobilize the people, we have some food, we are cooking a meal for them, and community people gave us drinks. Everything came from the community, and some of it came from the government.
Would you be able to do any other project in Kasgori today, or this is the only one?
Later on, there are some holes that we want to just block, and there are some flowers that we need to just trim. But generally, the village is clean. Because of NEP, the people from NEP, they do a very good job. So they maintain all of the roadsides. But basically, those are the major projects that we want to do today. That slab building, and maybe cutting off some trees or whatever that across the road, over the road. Yeah.
Vana Ilwa, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Many happy returns. Thank you.
We have made it to the community of Monjon, and we've come across one of the projects in the community for a day of community service. I've met with Mr. Lester Douglas of the area. You're on the project, so good afternoon. Welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you doing?
Yes, good afternoon. I'm doing okay. We're on a little project here for the Monjon community, working on the bus stop, which was uncovered since Maria. And since then, since school reopened, the children have been struggling to shelter in waiting on the bus. So we decide, just me and Rasta decide that we would use that as our project. So we talked to the council and asked them what they think of it. They say, well, yes, it's a good idea. So we decided to do that today, because during rain time you had to be playing draft inside the bus stop, shelter in there, run in there, shelter in there. So we decided to take that project on today.
And the material was provided by whom?
That is the material they have given for the housing, the recovering of roofs after Maria. So we asked them for some materials to do that project, and they tell us no problem, we can get it.
So you have enough to complete the project today?
Yes, we have enough. We have all the material on the truck, and it's myself and Bernard, we put our tools together and decide to do that project.
Okay, so you mentioned yourself and another gentleman, but you have more people helping you out on the project?
Yes, all those who you see there is school children. So they know the importance of the bus stop in the morning. And we just have a lot of rain up on the east side. So all of them come together. As long as we ask them, they say, well, they're on board. So that's why a lot of them here today helping us out.
And will this be the only project you'll be tackling for community of service?
Yes, well, for us, that was our main project. Yeah, and it's not just only Monjon, other villagers sheltered in the bus stop too. So it's going and work out for Monjon and whoever else passing. So yeah, so we decided to do that, and so far we're going good. We'll complete it today.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. Mr. Douglas, thank you for your time and happy independence.
Yeah, thanks. Same to you.
In the community of Freya, we have come across yet another project with quite a number of people on it. I have with me Miss Manuela Gregoire. You're going to tell us about the project, but first off, good afternoon and thank you for talking to us on your Channel 5 News.
Good afternoon.
So what's happening here in the community?
Okay, we just a few of us just gathered as normal every year, community day of service. We gather together to clean our community, because we know community day of service is a day to give back to our community, to share our skills and our talents, to make our community a better place for all of us.
You mentioned beautification. Why is this particular project so important?
It isn't because if you realize we are on the main entrance to the community of Freya, so although the NEP members, they clean maybe once in a while. So community of services decided to just maybe help them out a little to do all the major, because they don't do all the hard work we are doing. They just clean and plant flowers. But this is important so that even the young ones, they form part of it, and everybody, it's a time for everybody to come together and share. A time to work hard, to laugh with one another and stuff like that.
In terms of the equipment being used today, who provided the equipment?
As far as I know, the equipment are from the Freya community members. This project is not a council project. Okay. It's just we Freya people coming together. The chainsaws, the young man's chainsaw, the cutlasses, the tools, most of it are from the members of the community.
And what do you think of the number of people out on the project today?
It is a tremendous turnout. Throughout the years, it has been a lot of young people. And yeah.
And you see yourselves completing this entire stretch of road today?
Yes, it's the norm. We do the entire street, we pause for lunch, and then we work until we are done.
So, Manuela, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Thank you, same to you.
We have made it over to the east of Dominica. Our first stop in this district brings us to the community of Good Hope. I have here the chairman of the Good Hope Village Council, Mr. Ashel Grove. Mr. Grove, good afternoon. Welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming.
No problem. It's Community Day of Service. So tell us, what's happening in your community, Good Hope, for Community Day of Service?
Okay, well today, as you can see, the community members here have gathered here to do what is called a major drainage project and a crossing to a house. We are hoping that that drain project will alleviate erosion and will eventually help this family to get to the homes safely in terms of when there's a lot of rain and water.
You mentioned the crossing to the house. Tell us more about that.
Okay, the crossing, as you can see right there, as you can see, part of the crossing is a step, and then when we were constructing this road there, which was constructed about a year and a half ago, we damaged most of the resident steps. So right now we are just giving back and trying to make sure that the crossing is in good condition for the people living up there.
How many people live up there?
We have about 3 households living up in this area.
Now, speaking of the drainage project, what normally would happen here when it rains heavily?
Oh, as you know, Good Hope is prone to disaster. And if you remember Erica, I can tell you we had a lot of damages here, and when it rains, people get scared. The fact is, when it rains, people are very cautious of where they go, and the houses, as you know, they're not in very good locations. So it's a concern for us here in Good Hope.
Earlier on, you mentioned the weather this morning was of concern to you, but it's held up thus far. How much work have you been able to put in on this particular project?
Yeah, well, the weather this morning, when I woke up and I looked outside, I said, wow, today we're going to be messed up. But with everything, you have to put God first, and we say, you know what, God is going to take care of that. And look at all these people here. So far, we have about 25 persons here on the project, and we are still expecting people to come out. And we have some food cooking, and we're not going to stop unless the food is ready. So if you guys are here and food is ready, you're going to join us in eating.
Okay. Is this a project that you see finishing today?
Sure. It is going to complete today, and because of the number of people that turned out today, we intend to divert a little bit. As soon as that is completed, we're going to go into another project that was not programmed, but there is need. So we have the materials, so we're going to go to another project, another site. What project is that? It's very close here. It's a crossing close to a culvert, and then water have been digging that area there. So we have the cement, we have tariffs, so we're just going to get at it. People want to work, so we're going to work.
Okay, Mr. Grove, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Thank you, and same to you.
And we've made it across to the community of San Sauvé to see what's happening there for Community Day of Service. I have with me Tracy Gustav, who is a councillor on the Pirit-Soufrière San Sauvé Village Council. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm okay, thank you. So tell us, what is happening in San Sauvé for Community Day of Service?
Well, right now, you are in the area we call the San Sauvé. We are close to the 7 Days Church. Not wrong, that is Cecile. We're in Cecile area. Now the road, we patch it up because there's a lot of deep holes that was preventing the drivers from passing on the road, so we was passing on the sidewalk there. So we blocked the holes so that we can drive properly. And then a little lower down, there are some men with 2 other councillors cleaning the road, like cutting the grass and so on, cleaning the path there. And higher up, the men moved up to block the rest of the holes along the way.
So you mentioned there were a lot of deep holes on this road and you blocked them, but because of the holes, people had to drive on the sidewalk. Does it mean you now have to tackle the sidewalks and make them better?
Well, yes. After that dry, then they will continue at the sidewalks. Yes.
Is that going to be happening today as well?
Well, hopefully, but maybe not. Maybe we'll have to do it another day, according to if that will dry properly.
Are you happy with how much work has been done for today?
Yes, I'm quite satisfied. The guys, they worked quickly and we enjoyed the day so far.
How many guys were out helping on this project?
Well, we had about pretty close to 20.
Nice.
Yes. That's a big number, yes.
Okay. All right. Are there any other projects happening in your area?
Yes, we have one more higher up in the Sophia, where the chairman and a few other councillors are building a bus shed. Yes, it was destroyed by Maria, so they are fixing it again.
Well, that sounds good. Tracy, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
You're welcome, and same to you.
And our tour of the East brings us to Castle Bruce, and I have with me the chairperson of the Castle Bruce Village Council, Angelica Gasper. We've encountered what looks to be a massive project in the Jalousie area. Angelica, good afternoon. Welcome to the Channel 5 News. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Tell us, what is happening here in the Jalousie area?
Okay, in this area, as you can see, we are building a well-needed crossing for a lady who lives on the other side. Over the years, we have been trying to do it, but we were not successful. But we want to thank the government of Dominica, together with our Parrep, Honorable Johnson Drago, for providing the materials for us so that we can at least start the project. We will not complete today, but at least we have some strong men here with us, headed by Richard Ferguson. So we know that we will reach somewhere. We have our gentleman here, Rupert, who is giving us his machine so that we can go faster with the concrete. So we will get somewhere today.
Why is this particular crossing so important?
It is important because over on the other side we have people living there. So we want to make it easier for them to be able to cross, because whenever it rains heavily, it is impassable. So we really want to make something good so that the lady can cross over when it's raining.
How many people live on the other side of the crossing?
Well, immediately there you see this house, but there's a shortcut. If people want to go to the tippy area, they can also go through this area.
You mentioned you have strong men helping on the project. How many turned out today?
Well, so far we have 8 of them here, but we know in continuing the project, we will get more people to help us.
As you pointed out, this project would not be finished today. Do you have a deadline in mind by which you hope to complete it?
Well, at the end of the day, we'll be able to say, because as you can see, they're still going to continue working. So at the end of the day, we can say, well, we will continue every Saturday or every weekend until it's finished.
And in terms of material, you have enough for the project?
Yes, so far we have enough material. Thank you to the government and the Parrep.
And Angelica, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
You're welcome, and same to you.
Thank you. And we have met with the Member of Parliament for the Castle Bruce constituency, the Honorable Johnson Drago. Mr. Drago, hello, welcome to the Channel 5 News, and thank you for talking to us. How are you doing today?
Great, and thank you for coming to Castle Bruce to see what we're doing.
Anytime, it's always good to cover the products in the country, and I know there must be several in Castle Bruce. It's a huge community. Tell us, what is happening in the Castle Bruce area for community of service?
Well, Castle Bruce, there are quite a few projects going on in Castle Bruce. At the primary school, there is a major final cleaning going on. As you know, that the Castle Bruce Primary was rebuilt almost in its entirety, and the primary school students are presently at the Castle Bruce Secondary. So we're preparing to move the students up as soon as possible, and the parents are there doing a final cleanup, which I'm very excited about because they will be moving into a rather new school very soon, and so on. There's another project higher up called Charlottesville area. It was affected this morning by the weather. I don't think it started, but there are several other important projects going on in the entire constituency. Most of the projects will not be completed today because we had a setback this morning by the weather. So they actually started around 9 and so on. But for sure, all of the projects will continue. and we'll be satisfied that the over 300 bags of cement we got into Castlebrooks for community service will be material well spent. And I want to thank the Prime Minister and the government of which I'm part for making all this material available for us.
Sure. Now, listening to you speak, you seem very happy with the number of people who turn up for the projects. But as Member of Parliament for this constituency, what are your thoughts on the scope of or the range of projects happening in your area?
Well, you know, I am very satisfied with the range of projects. As a matter of fact, some of the projects they are not projects that could be completed in one day. So I thought the councils were very ambitious to undertake some of the projects that they took. But looking at what has happened here, in one day, both of the 14 have been being constructed. It means that we can do a lot of work if we decide to work harder, and so on. So I was a little concerned as to whether the projects were too big for the communities to handle. But all of the tradesmen, most of them came forward and put their skills together, and they've really tackled these projects with really purpose. And I'm happy that they took the challenge to come up with these major projects, which they themselves are doing. I'm very satisfied with the amount of production that we've gotten today.
I'm glad to hear that. Mr. Drago, thank you so much for your time and happy independence.
Welcome. Happy independence to all of Dominica too, and especially to the people of the Castlebrooks constituency.
This is where I've come to the end of my stint for Community Day Service 2018. Started off by bringing you projects in the southeast of the country in Dalis, and we ended in the east of the country in Castlebrooks. Just want to say a big thank you to all those who turned out in their numbers to support the numerous projects for Community Day Service, and thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. And thanks to my cameraman Ishmael Lewis for making all of this possible. This is Reunion Year 2018 being celebrated under the theme, My Love, My Home, My Dominica, Building a Resilient Nation. To end the news, the headlines again. Traffic halted on Wednesday as Bailey Bridge at Compton Point was undermined by heavy rain. Hands Across the Sea invests in literacy in 24 of Dominica's schools. And hospitality training priority as Dominica prepares for 5-star hotels. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.